Welcome back. The Nifty's moved up about 20 odd points. In fact, this week itself, we've seen the Nifty rally by close to about 3 odd percent. The mid caps are outperforming today, but for the week so far, it has trailed the frontliners. So the mid cap index has had a gain of nearly about 1% for the week. As we speak, Yes Bank is inching higher. Anush was talking about a few pharmaceutical names. So both Cipla and Sun Pharma are now higher by close to about 3.5% and 1.5% respectively. So at the high point over there. We're in conversation with our guests, Mr. S.P. Tulsian and Dipan Mehta. Dipan, I wanted to ask you about Sun TV. Now, that's a stock which has taken a big hit today. It's down close to about 3 to 4 odd percent. There was an HSBC note which spoke about declining TV viewership for Sun TV. Their new channels are not doing so well, as a result of which the ad revenues could come under pressure. Where do you stand on Sun TV?
See, overall, I think Sun TV was an underperformer as far as the earnings have been for the past few quarters or so, and there's also the corporate governance issue considering the salaries which are taken by the promoters in Sun TV, and that doesn't leave a good taste in the mouth of investors. At the same time, there is massive disruption taking place in the entertainment industry, and we are seeing more and more viewership move to the OTT platforms, and Sun TV doesn't really have a OTT platform which is perhaps which can be monetize or which can reduce the number of viewership that they are losing. On the other hand, the likes of Zee have really been able to grow the OTT platform, and therefore investor money shifting away from Sun TV into media company like Zee Entertainment. And on the whole, I think Sun TV has been a bit of a laggard over the past several years or so, underperforming the industry majors. So I think finally investors throwing in the towel over there and moving on to other media companies.
Okay, fair enough. Sandeep Wagle is also with us. Sandeep, hi, good afternoon. What are your trades?
Afternoon, Anuj. I would go with a buy in a Kotak Bank, stop loss of 1215, target of 1257, and a buy in a Bata, stop loss 1026, target 1060.
All right, Sandeep, thanks a lot for those trades. Look at Strides Pharma. That's now up 7.5%. It's been a good pharma day. Strides, of course, one of the most volatile ones, and and at times, if you chase these moves, perhaps you get stuck also. But for now, today it's up about 7.5%, so looking quite good. Mitesh, any chart check on this one? If you looked at it,
got Strides early in the morning as well. I had given a target of around 500, which is the 200 average area. So I think we're very close to that. Around that levels, you might find some supply and profit booking emerge. But I think eventually it will cross that and head towards levels of around 525, 530 easily.
Mr. Tulsian, what about PFC and REC? Both of them are down for the third day in a row. They've lost about 10 to 15% of their value in a span of few days.
See, maybe hangover, and they probably both are a victim of the expected news flow that REC may take over PFC. And in fact, if you see this, I have said a couple of days back also that PFC is a smaller in size, maybe in terms of the loan book or maybe in terms of the book value and the effective market capitalization by a couple of 1,000 crore. So if REC is taking over PFC, probably there will be maybe some kind of valuation goof up also, which may be seen detrimental for both the shareholders. So probably this fear is seen to be looming on both the stocks as of now.
Okay, some more stocks on the move. Just pull out Godrej Industries intraday chart. That's now at the high point of the day. Apart from that, Biocon's making a move. In fact, the entire pharma sector, Sun Pharma, now at 493 once again. A couple of PSU banks like Allahabad Bank on the upside. Wockhardt, talking about pharma names, is at the high point. Is IDFC. So a lot of these stocks moving right now. PTC as well is making a bit of a move. So that one also right now at the high point. So a lot of these stocks doing well right now. What's not doing well? Well, there are a couple of stocks like Kajaria Ceramics. Let's put out Kajaria Ceramics intraday chart. That's moved to the low point. And among the large caps, IndusInd Banks also moved to the low point. Mr. Chan, the other stock which is quite interesting is Eicher Motors, because it looked like it had put some kind of bottom in place. The stock had started to move. But over the last couple of days, it's again started to underperform. Your thoughts on the stock?
So, maybe largely because of the profit booking, and secondly caution ahead of the monthly sales number, because we will start seeing the monthly sales numbers start pouring in, and in the next 2 days, probably on Saturday, Sunday, the numbers will be out, the effect of which will be seen on Monday. So it is logical that caution is exercised by the investors in Eicher Motor, because having run up so much, it is better and prudent to go for profit booking ahead of the monthly sales numbers.
Okay. Mr. Tiltian, Tata Motors has gotten hit very hard. Another plant in UK where they are cutting their production. Now, the stock has already been crunched down. From 170 level, what should an investor do?
See, Rima, in fact, I have been saying this for maybe last 6 to 8 months that there is no respite and there is no, in fact, there are two stocks, where we have been taking extremely negative call for 6 to 8 months have been Tata Motor and Idea, and both, we continue to have the same view. I don't know what will be the future of the Tatas, because if you see 90% of the value is derived from JLR, and both have seen to be strong headwinds, whether you take from Europe or you take from China, and I don't think that things will be seen really easy for them. The plant shutdowns, the poor offtake, margin compression, all these things are seen to be there. So it is seen to, continuously seen to be sinking, and I don't think that, and any rally, if it comes in, definitely that should be used by investor to exit, or even those who wants to reshuffle the portfolio can even take a hard call to exit even now from the stock.
All right, Mr. Tiltian, we'll leave it there today. Thanks a lot for joining us. Have a good weekend, and of course, we'll talk to you next week. We have Jay Bala now also joining us to talk about the market technicals. Jay, good afternoon. So it's been a very strong November, in fact, and we are ending right at the highest point on the Nifty, at least 10,870 thereabout. How much more for this rally, you think?
I think as of now, I think the markets has reached a maximum level for this leg of the move. I think the markets are stretched a bit in the short term, and we're going to see some sort of a dip for the markets, possibly 10,500 odd levels. If it's going to be a deep correction, maybe even 10,300. But whether it's going to be a shallow correction or a deep corrections are equally poised. But the medium term is quite clear. The markets has done some important price levels. Now, I've been saying for some time now that the medium term trend is intact and the markets are going to record highs. There is no change in that view. Last week's or this week's print of 10,867 is pretty significant for the market, and that in fact in a way confirms this market is heading to record highs in the medium term. In the short term, we're going to see some pullback. Similar picture for the banking index. I think the banking index is slightly stronger than the Nifty, thanks to the private banking space, and the supports come in at about 26,400 for the banking index and about 25,900 if that were given. And Axis, ICICI, and probably Indus is starting to rise from the bottom. I'm starting to like that. I would like to buy that on a pullback.
Jay, afternoon. What about the IT pack? Now, that's been the leader this week. A name like TCS has rallied close to about 10%. Infy's rallied about 8%. Where do you stand on these tier 1 IT companies?
Yeah, very good point you're making, Rima. Before the long weekend, I spoke to Surabhi and Anuj, on the show. I said the IT sector is in the last few days of a sell-off, and I was saying anybody who's short should get off from the short positions, and that is actually starting to play out. I'm starting to like the IT index, and I think it's going for record highs past 18,000. And although this time there is no homogeneity within the sector, I would tend to stick with frontline IT names rather than mid-cap IT names like I did in late 2016, early 2017. So watch out. And if you have to be in mid-cap IT, you've got to be very, very choosy about it. But it's easier to play the frontline IT names.
Okay, easier to play frontline IT names. By the way, talking about pharma, another stock that's now making a move is Lupin. Just pull out that stock intraday. And in fact, from the day when we had that resignation of CFO, from that low point, it's just been one-way rally for Lupin. So there's quite a bit of buying. Jay, any chart check on Lupin or any other pharma name that you may have looked at?
Yeah, and the pharma names are quite a diverse pack. Sun Pharma and Cipla have been a bit of a disappointment, but the stronger pack is Dr. Reddy's, Glenmark, Divi's, and they're all, and your Arabindos. They're all looking very strong. And Divi's has already crossed record highs, pulling back. And Dr. Reddy has crossed 52-week highs, and I think there is no stopping for Dr. Reddy's until 3,100. So quite a bit of significant move. So, and if this were to percolate to the weaker names like Sun Pharma and Sun Pharma, I would think that I think that will also play catch up. So a pretty significant fortnight ahead for the pharma stocks.
Jay, consumer retail names like Bata, McDowell Holding, Page Industries are also leading the rally. Any trade that you would recommend on these names?
Oh, definitely. I like Bata here, and in fact, this is one sector where there is homogeneity, and in fact, the consumer theme is actually back, and Bata is along with the stop below 940, and can expect record highs past 1280 to 1320, and even VIP Industries is starting to look good, even, possibly record highs coming there too. And even frontline names like Hindustan Unilever looking quite strong, and in the medium term is likely to cross 2000.
You're selling Bharti Airtel. That's interesting because seen such a crunching fall. Of course, from the lows it's recovered a bit, but what next here?
Yeah, Bharti Airtel, unfortunately, it's looking still weak. The October low doesn't seem to be the final low for it. We define trends as a 5-step move and corrections as a 3-step move, and that's exactly what happened to Bharti Airtel when it bounced off from the October low. It has come up in 3 steps, and it has now come back lower, and it's overlapping to the previous leg of the move. That is a classic corrective move, and it's telling that a low below 260 on cards, so one can place a stop about 340 and go short on Bharti.
Okay, 260 means a fresh 52-week low on Bharti Airtel. The current 52-week low is a level of about 277. Jay, you said you like tier 1 IT companies. Which ones would you recommend by way of a trade?
Definitely, I'll go with Infosys, and Infosys, one can place a stop below 599 and expect 800 to be achieved. This is a slightly higher time frame call. It's not going to happen in a couple of weeks. It's probably going to take longer than that. Even TCS has seemed to have clocked a minor double bottom, and watch out. Both the frontline IT names are looking good. I'm going with Infosys for a price predictive of 800.
What about something like a Maruti, Jay? Because it's clearly shown signs that it's put some kind of bottom in place, but you reckon it can go back to its previous highs, or is that too much to ask right now?
Yeah, I mean, earlier I was of the opinion it's going past the record highs, but I'm still hopeful that kind of a move comes through. But the markets are saying at the moment that there is a pullback in the short term that's coming. I think somewhere close to the October highs, but much higher low is coming for Maruti. But post that, I think it's going to blast off. So you need to wait for a correction to come through if you haven't already taken position in Maruti. But if you've already been ahead of the market and taken along around the October lows, I think the October lows are going to hold, and you might get at least 50% of the decline from 9,900 to the October low. I think that kind of a move is coming for Maruti.
Jay, any disclosures?
I'm a macro trader. I don't hold any Indian stocks, neither do my family. I just hold SGX Nifty futures from point to point.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Oil and gas names are bouncing off their lows, so IOC, ONGC, HPCL, just put that on your radar. We'll slip into a very short break. When we return, we'll tell you what to buy today that you can sell in Monday's trade or vice versa.